his Letterman set, the last Letterman, when he goes, yeah, Germany decided to attack the world, and you're like, that's so true. And then he goes, who do you think you are, Mars? I mean, it's just so funny, those little things where he's just telling you facts and it's funny.
And Germany decides again to go to war, and again it chooses as its enemy the world. And this time they have that guy, Schrankly, Crankly, that guy, and I'm not even going to dignify him by saying his name, but I think you know what I'm talking. But you'd think at that point the world will go, listen, Germany, here's the deal. You don't get to be a country no more on account of you keep attacking the world. What do you think, you're Mars or something?
In a brilliant move during closing arguments, Simpson attorney Johnny Cochran put on the knit cap prosecutors say O.J. wore the night he committed the murders. Although O.J. may have hurt his case when he suddenly blurted out, hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat.
Like, no matter where you are, you think like he's not going to make it. Like,
Yeah.
Just hold his stomach. Goes, I can't do this, man. I'm not going to make it here. I don't want to go. I don't want to go on. I want to quit. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. And you got to push him in front of the microphone, and then he does an hour and 45 and like destroys. Doesn't take the mic out like this, like
but quit smoking. That's good for your teeth, man. You ever tried that? Holy cow, is that tough, huh? I smoked ever since I was a kid. I always remember smoking, you know. One time I remember as a little kid, I was like 8 years old, and I was behind my garage. I was sneaking a cigarette back there, and my dad caught me. I'll never forget it. His big head came around the corner of the garage. There it was, my dad's big head. And then his body, right after it. There was his body. Trailing his head as it often would. And he grabbed me, and he hauled me in. And I thought I was in for the strapping of my life, you know? What he did is he pulled out his giant cigar. Must have been half the size of my arm, this big cigar. Stuck it in my mouth, lit it up, made me smoke it all the way through, right to the end. That's when I started smoking cigars real heavy. That plan backfired on him. Then there was another time I remember, now that I'm thinking about it. I was behind the garage again, as luck would have it. And this time I was smoking a big fat joint back there. And don't do drugs. And my dad's big head showed up again. And there's no body this time, just a big head. That was the funny part. You like to mix it up like that, you know? So anyways, he grabbed me there with his teeth and he hauled me in. And I thought I was in for the strapping of my life, you know, but injected me with heroin. So he was a strict man, I'll tell you that.
What I know of Norm is that he may not be working hard.
No.
But what he has is the same result as somebody who's worked hard.
Yes, yeah.
Which is, again, enviable, admirable. But God, he makes me laugh. And I happened across some of his time on Weekend Update.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you watch it now, you realize Norm just didn't care if it got a laugh.
No. And he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't care. And he had a joke. I think Downey wrote the joke. It was during the OJ trial. And there's a picture of Johnny Cochran holding up the knit cap with OJ sitting next to him. And God, no one could do this but Norm. Norm said, a little bit of a wrinkle for OJ in the trial today. Johnny Cochran stood up and held the knit cap that was found at the scene of the double murders when OJ jumped up and said, hey, careful with that. That's my lucky stabbing cap.
He's my hero.
I love him to death.
Fun, maybe one of the funniest guys on the planet. Dave Attell, Norm, in that. There's something about those two.
National treasures.
I agree, and the fact that he's not like the biggest comic of all time is weird.
Well, he is to us.
Yeah, you're very kind. You know in the, what's that? Oh, yeah, no. No, you're absolutely right. That is my name. You know, when the people here ask me to do the show, you know, I gotta say, I felt kind of weird, you know. I don't know if you remember this, but I used to actually be on this show, you know. I used to do the weekend update news routine. You remember that? And yeah, that's where I did the make-believe news jokes. You know, that was me, right? So then, a year and a half ago, right, I had a sort of a disagreement with the management at the NBC. I wanted to keep my job, right? And they felt the exact opposite. So you see, they fired me because they said that I wasn't funny, you know? Now with most jobs, I could have had a hell of a lawsuit on my hands for that, but see, this is a comedy show. So they got me, you know, you don't want it. But now, this is the weird part, right? It's only a year and a half later, and now they asked me to host the show. So I wondered, I go, hey, wait a second here. Hey! I go, how did I go in a year and a half from being not funny enough to be even allowed in the building to being so funny that I'm now hosting the show? How did I suddenly get so damn funny? It was inexplicable to me, because a year and a half, let's face it, is not enough time for a dude to learn how to be funny. Then it occurred to me, I haven't gotten funnier. The show has gotten really bad. So yeah, I'm funny compared to, you know, well, you'll see later, but... Okay, so let's recap. The bad news is, I'm still not funny. The good news is, the show blows.
But I learned from watching him on SNL, when he was on Weekend Update, of just that, believe in your joke. And if the audience doesn't get it, you still need to believe in it. You know, like, not every joke has to hit. You don't want to be a crowd pleaser. You want to be a great comedian. And Norm seemed to always be going that way. So I always looked up to him, always loved him.
In music news, Dr. Jack Kevorkian has performed and recorded a 1-hour CD of his own jazz compositions for the flute. You know, Dr. Kevorkian, I've listened to your CD, and I've got some advice. Don't quit your day job, all right? You know, murdering old people, stick with that. Stay away from the flute and stick with the murdering old people. This is my advice.
How many comics out there don't give a fuck, but kind of still do? You have to kind of still do to eat. That guy
Norm
truly
doesn't. He's so fucking funny.
One of my best opening monologue jokes ever. Did you ever see? Remember that whole thing when he was doing Weekend Update and they told him to make it funnier. So he didn't. He just was more Norm the next week. So eventually, of course, he gets fired. So then, he goes off into the Hollywood world. He's got a TV show or a hit movie or some shit. So now they bring him back to guest host on SNL. And I'm going to butcher this, but he kind of came out. He's like, people know I got fired from this show. So now they got me back hosting, which means either I got a lot funnier or this show sucks. That's what he opened up with.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Norm! Norm! Oh my God! Very funny, Norm. And thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you. Norm Macdonald, ladies and gentlemen. That was very sweet, Norm. Good night, everybody.